All right, Shalom. Call Loyim. La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to you fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the few Akwatim that believe as well. A hearty shalom to you other laborers and believers that are scattered throughout the face of the earth, whether you be among the heathen and even look like the heathen, which are the speckled Israelites, to the whole household of faith, which is the elect. I want to say shalom to you. Back at you with another quick Lord when the edifying lesson. This is history, all right, which I'm getting a lot more into the history, and it goes into the racial injustice, as you can see at the top of my screen to the left. It says the history of racial injustice, and pretty much the things that's been happening to Jake here in Babylon from Judah on down. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, it says on this day, April 25th, 1959, a white mob murders Mack Parker in Mississippi. It says on April 25th, 1959, a white mob, which they're not white, okay? And I said this in previous videos, but their true nationality is that they're Edomites, okay? White is just a social construct that was made up in the 1800s, okay? All right, to disguise their true identity as being, Edomites, but also to play on words, all right? Them calling themselves white. White means pure or clean or not intending to harm, okay? Because really they're red when you look at them, okay? And that goes back to the complexion or the appearance of an Edomite, all right? They're red all over like a hairy garment, as the scriptures speak about their progenitor, Esau, Edom, okay? Esau meaning race the way as he, and Edom means red, okay? Because that's how they look, red, because their skin is translucent and the blood shine forth through their skin, okay? So it says an Edomite mob in Mississippi killed a Judite man, because they're not black. That's a play on words. Black means wicked, harmful, or violent, right? So it's a play on words when you look at the etymology of the word, of white and black. It says a Judite man named Mack Parker. Mr. Parker had been accused of raping a white woman, but emphatically denied the accusations. Right, because why? That was absurd for anybody to do among the tribes, Judah to, rape a white woman. And this was the usual narrative, all right, that these Edomites use. These devils use this same narrative to justify going into murder many so-called black families, okay? Just, straight up terror they did upon Judah, okay? Which would be the head tribe of the nation of Israel, okay? They're the real Jew, if you will, because Jew is a made-up title, and they know this, all right? These devils know that the real Jew, which the Bible speaks of, which they're just the head tribe of the nation, but that word Jew is just made-up term, all right? Really, they're the tribe of Judah or Yahweh, okay? Which, is the head tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. But anyways, let's continue on. All right, that's something that, of course, during these times, Jim Crow laws, the Jim Crow era, all right, and a heavy period where Esau was, pretty much just straight up terrorizing Jake, man. Jake couldn't walk home. Jake couldn't walk to school without terror being forced upon him. All right, how many loved ones and cousins and friends, classmates, excuse me, were kidnapped, never seen again? What have you, man? Murdered, hung, lynched. All right, just for you Edomites, you so-called white people, to have a good old time. You see, it says, statements from those in the community suggested that the woman fabricated the rape claims to hide her consensual affair with a white man in a nearby town, and police officers garnered no conclusive evidence implicating Mr. Parker. See, she was committing adultery with another Edomite man in a nearby town, and they blamed this Jake, man, Mack Charles Parker. You know, he's the what's the term? He's the scapegoat. I'll just say that. He's the scapegoat for this Edomite woman. You know? Nevertheless, local Edomite men formed a mob intent on killing Mr. Parker before he could stand trial. Days after Mr. Parker was transferred from the Hinds County Jail in Jackson, Mississippi, to the Pearl River County Jail, a mob seized him from his cell, beat him, and dragged him outside. Bleeding profusely, Mr. Parker begged for his life, but the mob drove to the Bogalusa Bridge, pulled him from the car, and shot him. See? They murdered him, man. The mob then put chains around Mr. Parker's body and threw him into a Pearl River. His body was found more than a week later. Despite an FBI investigation that identified many members of the lynch mob, no one, and it's funny, right? Think about NWA, right? Or there's a group called Lynch Mob. It says no one was ever indicted in Mr. Parker's murder. Right, because this was a normal day. And this is a part of the dark history of Babylon, which is America, man. The fact that it murdered a lot of Israelites here in this land. First of all, to have the land in their possession, and also to establish the land as, you know, and create a government as their own. I don't know, as far as these Edomites go, man. So this is this is a proof that they was able to murder, you Jakes out there, man, and in particular, the tribe of Judah, and get away with it, man. Get off scot-free. But it'll be brought, to justice in the kingdom of heaven, because that's where we're going to find justice. All right, and we're going to get justice because of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. Zechariah 11 verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right? And this is the prime example, because why? They literally got off, as you can see. All right? Look at that. What just happened? Here we go. It says, despite an FBI investigation that identified many members of the lynch mob, no one was ever indicted in Mr. Parker's murder. So that's, again, the possessors, which are the owners. Who's the possession? The tribes. In this case, the lead tribe or the head tribe of Judah. All right? Being what? Murdered by a mob of Edomite men, right? And no one was brought to trial or court, or there was no justice for Mr. Parker's family. Okay? And they got to pay for this. Why? Because that's them avenging themselves upon Judah. All right. And offending. Okay. They basically offended by doing that. Jeremiah 50:7. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries say, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. So, they think that they're going to get off scot-free because, Jake, we sinned against our power as a nation, right? But that doesn't mean, all right, that it was okay for you to murder this man. All right, that's a part of forwarding the affliction of the tribes, especially Judah, knowing Judah the head tribe. Let's read the NOT. It says, all who found them devoured them. Their enemies said, we did nothing wrong in attacking them, for they sinned against the Lord. See? And how many incidents of, especially, dealing with Judah, where these Edomites attacked them. They're constantly being attacked. So, you offended. Why? Because you touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. And this is why the scriptures say this about, you damn Edomites, man. All right, Ezekiel 25 and 12, it says, thus said the Lord power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them, right? That's exactly what, the article really is about. Okay? Edom, all right, revenging himself upon Judah. Why? Because Judah is the head tribe, and remember that Judah had them, all right, in captivity, had them down in subjection during the Dark Ages, especially, man. Okay? But knowing the truth of the matter, these Edomites was made to be, all right, slaves to us, all right, as a nation. You were made to be the slaves to the Israelites, man. Esau was made to be a servant to Jacob. It says what? The elder shall serve the younger. All right, Esau came out first. Verse 13, therefore thus said the Lord power, I also will stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Den shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And that starts with Judah. All right, that starts with Judah. Judah going to lead the charge against, you Edomites, man. It what it says in Genesis 49 that Judah hands going to be the neck. Judah hands is going to be the neck and the neck of his enemies. And that starts with Esau, Edom. All right, and the rest of you heathen. Okay? And the rest of the tribes going to be right behind Judah. See, you northern tribes, you look at Judah a certain way, but really Judah took a lot of heat. All right, being the lead or head tribe of our nation, they took a lot more of hell from these devils, because they're the head tribe. And because of the history, It says, and I will lay vengeance upon, Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power. So, the Lord is going to actually use, all right, his people, beginning with Judah, to take vengeance on Edom, all right, according to the Lord's anger and fury. Okay? Because that's going to be the fulfillment, all right, of recompense that's coming to the nation of Esau, Edom. Okay, this is why it says that in not Jeremiah, Slakia. You know what? Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah, let's get that. That's a good scripture. One of my favorites, by the way, Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. All right, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. All right, who are the the adversaries or enemies? All right, of us. Well, it begins with Edom. All right, and you can go to the book of Psalms 83, and it mentions our enemies, man. They came together to cut us off from being a nation. You know, and it mentions Edom, and also it mentions Amalek, which are the same nation. Amalek being the head tribe, and then you think about Amalek, like who they are and what they done. They was the ones that was the head of, the oppression and affliction of Judah. You know, they the ones that made sure that Judah was put down in the press and kept in a dumbed down state. And of all the tribes, all right, of the 12 tribes, I mean, though they be in our land, the main name they try to take on is Judah. By calling themselves what? Jews. And that's the history, and that's the truth that they was trying to hide for so long. But see, it wasn't up to you Edomites, man. The Lord done that. That was the fulfillment of Jeremiah 17:4. Us, discontinuing from our heritage as a nation, right? But there was a great awakening that happened and took place. And the Lord woke up his people, beginning with the tribe of Judah, to realize that they're the people of the Lord. And not only that, they have brethren of the other tribes, which would be us, northern tribes. All right. Even the rest of the southern kingdom that came over here with them on slave ships, but also us other northern tribes, man. But it all started with Judah. The Lord said we raise the tents of Judah first. So Judah leads the charge, even with this, this truth, this knowledge that we have today. All right. Judah is the one that is at the forefront, whom the Lord set up to teach his word. And then that's how the rest of us tribes will work. This is how we were woken up to this knowledge. All right, through the tents of Judah. All right, so that the inhabitants of Jerusalem don't magnify themselves against them, which is what the other tribes. All right, going into the tensions between the tribes as well. All right, doing or leading up to the split of our nation. Okay, but anyways, let's continue. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And this is going to be truly fulfilled, all right, in the kingdom of heaven, man. And it's going to start on this side when the Lord lift up that standard, all right, by giving his men spiritual powers to fight against Esau. But ultimately, the kingdom, all right, when the elect is beamed up on the chariots and brought down, that New Jerusalem coming down from the firmament or the heavens, right, the skies. And then guess what? It's going to be a fulfillment of what? The Lord turning us from fishers of men to hunters of men. All right, we're going to become hunters. See, right now we're still fishing, but when the Lord comes, all right, beam us up, deliver us from the destruction, we're going to become hunters. We're going to hunt down the adversaries of of our nation, man. Beginning with your damn Edomites. All right, the top wicked elite at that. The kings and nobles, the what? Bind them with chains and fetters of iron, man. They're the ones that set up this goddamn captivity. As far as, financing the transatlantic slave trade. And then you look at these so-called white mobs, these Edomite mobs, right? They were all Klansmen. Who started the Klansmen? All right, the Judah P. Benjamin guy and other small hats, Amalekites, so-called Jews. And they hate that we know that. But there's overwhelming evidence, man, to prove that. So this is just one of many atrocities that have been committed against our brethren, man, our people, right? Let's get another precept and then we'll close. Amos 1:11, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." All right, and this is an example of pursuing his brother, Jacob, all right, or Israel, or the Israelites, with the sword. Because why? They murdered Mack Parker. He didn't even do the crime. This bitch committing adultery on her husband with another Edomite man, but they took it out on Jake. And blamed him for it. And guess what? The pity and anger, all right, well, having no pity and anger, all right, having no pity upon that Jake and showing their anger towards that Jake, all right, by knowing that he didn't do it, but yet took him out of the jail cell, right, beat him, then shot him, then threw him over in the river. He probably still alive. You never know, man. So they basically tortured him to death. Beat him, shot him. Probably still alive, and they chained him down and threw him in that river, man. And this is what you have to pay for, you Edomites, man. Beginning with Amalek. Because the Lord ain't forgot. What it says in Ecclesiastes, the Lord required that which is past. So that's gonna be returned upon your own head, man. So, hey, with that, hey, Lord, willing, you've been edified. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Hey, shalom to the next video. And Lord, willing, you've been edified. Shalom.